I hear you. We've done what is dance. We have looked at space, stillness, weight, and balance. All quite spatial. All physical qualities. But what about time? What about tempo and rhythm? Today, we are going to do a session on tempo and rhythm, the internal clocks and the external cues. To start, we're going to find our own internal clock. I'm going to invite you to lie down or be seated and just tune in to your heartbeat and your pulse and your breath. And notice what tempo the body is already moving at, what tempo the body already has, what rhythms are already present without you doing anything. And even though we're listening in, we can also be aware of, is anything influencing from outside? Are there other rhythms? And if you look into this space, there are many different theories and understandings about types of rhythms which last your whole lifetime, rhythms which happen within a day. So it's a huge question, but we're going to start really simple. Wherever you are, just starting to listen, tune in, and feel those rhythms. So take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you feel you need, and see what tempos are your body already moving in. Great. Hopefully we're already hearing and feeling tunes. Now, I want us to take our breathing, because that's we have to do, and use that or as a way to set perhaps the tempo of an exploration. So I'd like you to sync your movement up to your breath. So as you inhale and expand and exhale and contract, allow your breath to direct the pace of your movement. Maybe you just want to rock and roll with your breath, or you could walk or move. An option might be to put your hand on your chest and feel the movement of your breath that way. And just ask, what does a slow breath dance look like? What does a fast breath dance look like? There's no judgment. There's nothing right, nothing wrong. Just have a go at dancing and being in sync with the tempo of your breath. Great. Hopefully you managed to take a little bit of time to do that. And now I'd like us to play with different tempi, different tempos, different speeds, basically. Set yourself a challenge. Go as slow as possible. Snail's pace. Move as if you're moving through treacle or something really thick. See if you can move continuously all the time but as slow as possible. And then contrast that with moving suddenly and as fast as possible. And then see the different variations in between and how they feel. What is a fast fast? What is a slow fast? What is a fast slow? Or what is a slow slow slow? And just play between the different tempos that you can find in your exploration. And it can just be with your hands, just moving your hands slowly. Or it can be your whole body, every single part of it, running through space, slowly moving towards the floor, slowly standing up, quickly standing up, jumping, falling, however you like. So what kind of movements emerge at these different speeds? What qualities are possessed in these different tempos? Pause now and come back when you've explored a sufficient amount of tempos. Great. Hopefully that was interesting to go and find different speeds and different qualities and different types of a movement that have different speeds, different tempos. Now, I'd like us to start and understand how we mark, how we emphasize a beat, a rhythm. And simply, I'd like you to just make a rhythm in sound. So you can use your voice, ha, 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 ha. You can hit or tap. You can click or clap. You can stamp and make sounds like that. Start with a pulse. Just start with a dun, 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 a sort of thing, and see if you can find a rhythm. And just play with that for a moment. You might feel silly, but just have a go. See if you can get lost in it. See if you can get lost in the rhythm. Especially if you have been considering what dance is without music or with music. Try now to start to understand, is it the rhythm? Is it that is been lacking or is important in what you feel dance to be? So have a go, clap, jump, stomp, whatever you need. And do that for at least 10 minutes. I don't know. Do it as long as you need. And pause and we'll come back later. Great. So now we have played with our own rhythms, our own tempos by clapping, hitting, stomping. Now I would like us to look at external cues, as was suggested at the beginning, right? I would like you to try and find a piece of music. Anything, can be any music. Just pick something and put it on. And I would like you to dance to the beat, or dance against the beat, or ignore the beat. But listen to the counts, to the rhythms in the music, and see how you can mark that with your body. Trying to stay with it, just marking the beat with different limbs, with different parts of your body. Or you can dance against it. You can play with it or ignore it. but just see how the music affects you, how it changes what you're doing. If you don't have any music, you could also have someone clap for you. Or you could record your clapping, stomping, sounding rhythm from the previous prompt and use that. And if you would like me to propose some music for you, I'm going to suggest the music that plays between the prompts, which is from Moby Gratis, called Leaning. And I can leave a link in the description. But have a go, find a piece of music and just try and be with its rhythm. Be with what it's providing you. And we'll talk about it after. Okay, we're going to pause. So hopefully that was fun. And there is loads of things you can say about rhythms and dancing with music, on the music, off the music, against the music. However, what I want to point to is the difference between that exercise where you are dancing with those rhythms and the one before where you are sounding, you're making those sounds. There is something in dance where, yes, it can be very precise, and if it's in unison, you see that those rhythms are being performed correctly or not. But when you're just dancing to rhythms like we just did, there is this quality where the rhythm is a little bit looser than, say, making a sound. When I clap, you hear it. Everyone hears it. Whereas if I mark a beat with my elbow, does it stop there, or is it in the shoulder, or is it in the hand? The rhythm can be placed in different body parts. It can end, it can sort of fade out, it can hit before. So yeah, it can be precise, but it also has a little bit more freedom than, say, when we sound a rhythm. And this is just my opinion. You might not believe it, it might not be interesting for you. However, I think there's something there. I think it's worth thinking about where and how do you mark a rhythm? How does it accent? How does it become visible? How is it seen within a body? And are there other rhythms? If I step forward, is my shoulder marking a different rhythm to my feet? Is my hips marking a different rhythm to my knees? Essentially, what I'm leading us to is something called polyrhythms and layering of rhythms. And I believe that dancing often has a lot of different rhythms going on all the time, and it can. If you try to do polyrhythms in music, in making sound, it can be very difficult because it has to be very precise. However, in dance, I believe there are polyrhythms happening all the time, and because we are marking things throughout the body in different parts, if the hip moves, the shoulder is engaged as well. You can't isolate the body to such an extent where there aren't two things perhaps moving and stopping and breaking and changing that rhythm all the time. So to play with this, I'd like you to try moving one body part slower than another and move the other faster than the other. So one is moving slow and one is moving fast. And so there we have a sort of precise trying to create a polyrhythm, right? And we can play with that, allow it to become more free, and see if slow and fast rhythms can occur in different parts of our body, moving through to the feet, moving up to the arms, maybe walking slowly with quick hand gestures, or walking fastly with slow arm gestures, or rolling and moving in different layers of complex rhythms in different parts of our body. So now I'd like to invite you into a free exploration, and I would like to encourage you not to use music. And I know after hearing music, maybe you are desperate to have some music with you, but partly because even though there are many internal cues and rhythms that are already existing in the room that we learnt at the beginning of this session, I want to encourage you to find complex rhythms that aren't organized from outside. Music has an order, an organization, which will limit the freedom of play with the different rhythms that could occur. So just for now, no rhythms, no music, many rhythms, multiple rhythms. Have a play and come back once you're done. Give it 20 minutes or so. Okay, what do you think? Is rhythm, is it needed? Is it the center of the dance? Is it possible to have a dance without rhythm? Even if the rhythm is really slow? How important are those structures, are those patterns? Is that play? Is it the expectation and the change of expectation that is exciting? Do you enjoy having slow rhythms? Do you enjoy having fast rhythms? And why? What do they do for you? What do they do to your dance? What kind of choreographies can you imagine with them? Or do you like it when they're contrasting, when they're happening at the same time? And what does this do to what we worked with at the beginning? These questions of stillness, pause. Are they micro pauses? Or is it continuous because it's repetitive? Many people have played with different types of rhythms from all kinds of cultures, and they're worth exploring and investigating. They go from the very subtle to the extremely big. There are people who have controversially challenged the notion of music completely. There is so much richness and excitement in rhythm, pause and suspense and pattern breaking. It's super exciting. So take a minute to reflect, think about that. Perhaps you don't have to journal. Perhaps all you need to do is lie down, close your eyes, and think a little. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Hi, thanks for listening. If you can support the podcast, please go to paypal.me/dancepeter. I'm just looking for a little bit of funding to help support the cost of the hosting. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much.